Hi, I'm David R. Lewis. Thanks for dropping by Theater of the Mind. This Heartland memory takes us back to the days of porch swings. We are in the clutches of another porchless generation. The advent of air conditioning and television killed what had been, up to that time, an institution, the front porch. My generation and those before it will attest. Useful porches are all but gone now. Newer homes don't have them because homeowners don't need them. And with the passing of porches has come the extinction of that marvel of motion, the porch swing. Growing up, some of my fondest memories come from in and around the porch swing. So, several decades ago, when Laura and I rented a house in the country in almost Arkansas, Missouri that had a porch, the next logical and longed-for step was a porch swing. Driving to a nearby small town, a journey that included fording 2 streams and crossing a river on a 1-lane bridge, we went to the local Western auto store. The owner, who'd been there as long as the store had, roughly 230 years, looked startled. "A porch swing? What are you going to do with a porch swing?" Swing on the porch?" I ventured. "Well, I know that. It's just that anybody who'd use a porch swing's already got a porch swing. Folks your age don't use them." "Well, you never know. We might if we had one." "Well, come on. I don't know if I even got one, but if I do, it'll be downstairs." Downstairs was a dusty and damp dungeon of a place, missing only manacles on the wall to be perfect for the Spanish Inquisition. It was populated by scattered boxes, kerosene lamp globes, an old wood-fired cook stove, a Ringer washing machine, and one grimy box showing the dim legend, "Porch Swing/Oak." He dragged it out, still taped and sealed. The worn price tag read $13. "We'll take it," I said. And we did. It assembled well, chains and all, the sturdy oak of yesteryear. In the box was a packing slip with the date 1943. By dusk, the swing was hung. By dark, we were swinging. It was late in the swinging season, and a few weeks later, I hung the thing high on its chains for the winter. The following May, I went out to lower it for the summer and found a family had moved in. Well, actually, just a couple. A lovely pair of swallows had arrived, completely ignoring the barn behind the house, and built a nest on the rafter crossbar from which the swing swung. While I believe barn swallows to be delightful birds, they found me to be less than delightful. As a matter of fact, they didn't care for me at all, scolding and darting at me as I stood on the ladder, intruding on their world and invading their space. I assumed they, being rather shy, would depart for greener pastures, but they did not, preferring to stay and call the coveted Laura and me names, which they did for the rest of the month of May. By June, they'd settled down a bit, peering at us from their nest above our heads, flying freely to and fro, catching various types of insect munchies, putting brand new aerobatics on display for us every evening, scarcely taking notice of us while they attended to the full-time job of being swallows. We loved it. The calm evening of shadow watching, punctuated by those wonderful winged acrobats flinging themselves about in impossible stunts, was wonderful. Now and then one would seem to forget itself and land on the swinging chain a foot or so above my head and ride a while, clinging to its link, peeping or chirping occasionally, until I could no longer control myself and would look directly at the bird. He or she would then scold me and roller coaster away into the gathering dark for a last hot lap or two before returning to the perch in the rafters. Soon came the sound of children overhead, and Mom and Dad got really busy, hustling around, feeding the kids. Looking up, I could sometimes see their tiny faces, mouths open, begging for food. The parents paid us almost no attention, having to deal with the full nursery. Life had become more serious for the swallows. With early August in the air, so were the babies, 4 of them, learning mom and dad's skills. Where the parents flew, they flapped. Where the folks darted and dipped, they bungled and bumped. But soon it was impossible to tell any of the birds apart, except the babies were not afraid of us. We had been part of their world from the instant they hatched. They had never been without Laura and me. They knew us. If a stranger was on the porch, they'd stick to the rafters, but when we sat alone, they'd join us. Hanging on the chains just inches from our faces, riding on the back of the swing between us, cocking their lovely heads as we'd talk to them, unafraid and accepting. We loved them. And when mom and dad ran them off, we missed the kids a lot. But there is always another summer. Always the continuing cycle of the seasons and the years. And always, even now, decades later, another chance for swallows on the swing. At least that's how it seems to me. I'm David R. Lewis. Thanks for visiting Theater of the Mind.